Hi, welcome or welcome back. My name is Rachel. That is the R in the RK Stumbling Bear, and I'm a reader and a writer. I'm back to go over my first quarter 2026 priority reads. But before I did that, I wanted to wrap up quarter 4 of 2025, just so you know kind of where I'm at. Did I read what I wanted to? And spoiler, I did a pretty good job. So I am filming this at the end of January. So this is going to kind of give you an idea of how long it takes for things to get to me. In October, my priority reads were Queen Demon and A Mouthful of Dust. And I read both of them. Queen Demon, I really enjoyed, and I gave 4 stars. This is definitely a second book, though, in a series, so I think before the third one comes out, I'll need to read 1 and 2, because this book starts off pretty much where the first one ends. A Mouthful of Dust, this is from the Singing Hills cycle by Nevo, and really enjoyed this. I also gave this 4 stars. This one is not a linear series. This is more like vignettes of Cleric Cheese experiences. So I really can't tell you if one is supposed to come before the other. I really think that she kind of jumps around depending on what type of story that she wants to tell. For November, my priorities were Brigands and Bread Knives and The Strength of the Few. And I have read both of them. I just recently finished Brigands and Bread Knives and gave it 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. And I think it's because I'm older, and so I kind of connect more to Fern and the stage of life she's in. And then I also read The Strength of the Few by James Islington. I gave this one 4 stars. Again, it's a sequel book. It does definitely have its own contained story in here, but the setup for this, you really have to have read the first book in order to understand what's going on here. But really enjoyed it. I think I've heard that this is going to be a quartet. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm definitely excited to see what he's going to do in the next one, especially with how this ends. Not a cliffhanger, because everything story-wise for this one is wrapped up, but definitely it's making you wonder about the future. And then for December, my priority reads are We Will Rise Again and Arcane Inheritance. And I am currently reading We Will Rise Again. It's a series of short stories and essays. And then I have an Arcane Inheritance out from the library. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to read this before it has to go back, though. But that is where I am. That's why I was saying I did pretty good with quarter 4. I think quarter 3 from last year was my weakest, followed by quarter 2, and then quarter 4 I rocked it, and quarter 1 I think I was pretty good too. So really enjoying the books that I'm choosing for this kind of challenge, which is why I'm going to do it again in 2026. So for quarter 1, my priority new release reads. How I choose these reads is if they're part of a series, I have to be caught up with that series for that book. Otherwise, it's going to be a first or a standalone. So for January, I have the Elsewhere Express by Samantha Sota Yamato. And what I understand about this is kind of like magical realism fantasy. And then I have also The Poet Empress by Shintao, and I'm not 100% certain what to expect, but it's a fantasy as well, I'm pretty sure. And even though that these both have been published, I think the Somewhere Express just now is ready for me at the library, but the Poet Empress is not yet. That's why sometimes I don't get these books right away, is because I'm trying to use the library more to like read things, and if I like them, then I buy them. my rule is I'm trying to make my owned shelf all the books I want to reread over and over and over. Yeah, trying to use my library more, and it sometimes takes them a while to get some of these new releases. For February, my priority reads that I am interested in is The Obake Code by, I should have made this all bigger to read, by Makana Yamamoto. This is a Hawaiian author. And then the other one is The Iron Garden Sutra by A.D. Sui, which I read a novella from them in 2025. And then, despite what this name is, this is actually supposed to be like a space opera. So I'm very curious how this is going to turn out. And then in March, I have Nobody's Baby by Olivia Waite, which is the sequel to Murder by Memory, which I loved. And then I also have Trace Elements, which is a nonfiction written by Joe Walton and Ada Palmer, talking about conversations about science fiction. Those are the 6 books I'm looking forward to reading that are being published in this first quarter. I'll let you know how well I've done in the future. Are there any books coming out in 2026, especially in this first quarter, that are like a must read for you? I would love to know. Thank you and have a great day.